welcome to the channel, M&M Aquascaping. I'm Matt, this is Mitch. This is our first video. We're going to start here. This is my tank. We'll go through specs of the tank, what fish are in it, the filtration, how we made it, all of that stuff.
So what size tank is this, Matt?
So the tank is 6 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot. It's around 600 litres, opti-white glass. I believe it was made by ND Aquatics, which is quite a popular UK-based custom aquarium builder. I didn't buy it directly from them, I bought it second-hand. Picked it up for a decent price, a very good price for the condition of the tank anyway. Yeah, it's been running since December last year, so December 2022. I've got one FX6 running on it and it is absolutely perfect. Barely ever have to do a water change. I do one once a month, I do about 50%. Use a turkey baster, blow out all the rocks and everything, but even then, it doesn't really need doing. The filter does such a good job. Give the glass a good clean, you know. But even then, after a month, you wouldn't even really need to do it. It's just aesthetically pleasing, clean it all up.
And what substrate did you use here?
Alright, so for the substrate, started right on the glass. On the bottom layer is a thin layer of fluval aqua soil, and then I went for a cheaper option. This is just 10mm shingle. You can see it all over the tank now because it's pushed through my sand. It's just 10mm shingle from Travis Perkins. I picked up, I think 2 bags, washed it all first quite well, and then yeah, started to place in the rocks. Once I had a sort of rock formation, then I started to put a nice layer of sand in. Then I put another layer of sand in because I wanted a bit thicker. I know from the cupboard here, it doesn't look too thick, but that probably goes down maybe another inch below the cupboard there, and it banks up towards the back, so it is very deep. The shingle I feel works really well. One, because it's very cheap. 2, it's very good at colonising the good bacteria, which I think is again helping with the filtration. Obviously the FX6 is amazing, does a great job of that, but having that kind of substrate as well really helps. Yeah, keeps it really nice and clean. If I was to do it again, I would make sure I've got way more sand, because at first I did quite like the shingle poking through. I think it does, even though it's a completely different colour stone to the Sirius stone, I still think it looks quite nice. It looks a kind of beachy. I like it, but as you can see down this end, where we've got the power head and the outlet of the FX6, it's blowing all the way around the tank, and over time this has just completely eroded all of the sand and pushed it all this way, and loads more than I intended of the shingle is poking through. So next time, definitely looking at rescaping it soon. I want to go for a nice clean sand. Now that I know that the filter is going to do a great job of picking up everything and I'm not going to have bits lying around, I definitely want to go for nice clean sand. I don't want to see any of the shingle.
And what sort of plants have you got just dotted about in here?
Plants, mostly Anubias, lots of Anubias really. There's 2 Amazon swords in the back there. I think that one over the back there is called a tiger sword, and this one over here on the left hand side is a bit more of a crinkle one. I'm not actually sure on the specific name, but yeah, just loads of Anubias. They've got to be a thicker leaf. Obviously we've got lots of big cichlids with big mouths and they'll chew it up. They tend to leave the majority of the Anubias alone. They do have a little peck at it, but I don't think they actually like eating it, only when they get a little bit bored. Yeah, you can probably tell having a slight problem with this blackbeard algae at the moment, so if anyone does know any special ways to get rid of that, I've been doing some Googling. It's very difficult to get rid of other than taking it out and replacing it, or just manually removing it, which, as you can imagine, would be an absolute nightmare. So I'm kind of just leaving it for now. It's not doing any harm to the fish, not doing too much harm to the plants. I can cut them bits off if I need to. Also, it gives it a bit more of a natural look, so that really doesn't bother me too much at all. So we've got the FX6, I'm pretty well known. Straight away you're going to spot some lovely silicone around here. So obviously I did mention earlier I bought this tank second hand. It come with the FX6 as well, obviously also second hand. When I set it up, got everything plumbed in and working, there was a slight trickle coming from this valve here, and in my eagerness to set up the tank I just siliconed around it and decided I would replace this at a later date. So I've actually only had to clean this out once. It's not due to be cleaned out again until I think the middle of August, but I will replace this before then because that was an absolute nightmare draining this out and taking it all apart to clean. Yeah, there were a lot of towels were used, a lot of water was spilled, and we won't be doing that again, so I'm going to replace that.
And what type of species do we have in here, Matt?
Okay, so quite a big variety, a big mixture of cichlids, but we'll come on to the cichlids after. But we've got a big silver tinfoil barb here, still quite small. I have read up that they do get quite big, so we've got a silver shark. I've had him since he was probably about 2 or 3 centimetres, so maybe 2 or 3 years ago. He's about maybe 3.5 years old, I would say, actually. Along with, you might just be able to see him, he's just up behind the rock over there, black and red rainbow shark. Same size, 2 or 3 centimetres. Looking forward to seeing how big they can get. We've got a golden wonder panchax, which is a type of killifish who just floats about. He dipped down into the middle now, but usually he just floats about at the top. Doesn't get bothered by any of the other bigger cichlids. Seems very, very happy in this tank. We've got one, oh, he's floating about. There's a Siamese alligator, the flying fox version. It's just popped down the back of the tank. We'll try and catch him a bit later on. And the main...
a couple of plecos in here as well.
Yeah, there's plecos. There's a baby one over there. That is, I think that one's... Oh,
the Galaxy?
I'm not sure. Can't remember what that
Looks
one's
like a Galaxy to me.
That one's quite recent. I got that one. I've forgotten what the name is. But yeah, there's a common pleco in here that's quite large. I don't know where he is. Obviously, it's very hard to find them. There is a bright yellow pleco in here as well. And there is also a ranger pleco, which is my favourite one. Yeah, again, trying to pick out plecos in this tank is very difficult. They have so many different places to hide.
But also a lot of plecos don't like the sun or the light, so they normally come out once the light gets turned off a bit later.
We've also got, as the main feature fish of this aquarium, is a mixture of cichlids. They are African cichlids as well as South American cichlids. I have read and done a lot of research, and a lot of people have said that you shouldn't keep them together. They just don't accept each other in their waterways, but I wanted to see if it was possible given the right environment, and I believe I've given them the right environment, and I think they're all doing very, very well. You look at the general health of all of the fish, the fins, everyone seems pretty happy. Obviously, you do get little bits of aggression here and there. That's what you get when you tend to buy cichlids. They're always going to be a little bit aggressive towards each other. What I have found is that the only aggression that I do get is from the African peacock, Malawi cichlids that are in here, but they tend to squabble amongst each other. They don't tend to bother the other fish. So I think there's 6 Malawi peacocks in here. There's also around, I think there's 8 Mbuma. I'm not really sure how to say that word. A lot of people say it differently. Mbuma cichlids in here, different varieties, different colours. We've got 2 green terrors. They're still quite young. They do get quite big. One of them is a lot bigger than the other. This is the bigger one. There's the little one down there. Believe it or not, they were both that similar size when I got them about 5-6 months ago. Yeah, I think one might be a female. I'm not sure yet. I don't think they're quite big enough to sex them yet. But yeah, we've also got the Salvini cichlids. So there's 3 of these guys in here. They're really, really pretty fish. I think they're my favourite. One of them out of the 3 is a lot bigger than the other 2, a lot more chunky. I've been told that the females do get a lot more colourful than the males. They get a really nice red belly, go really bright yellow with really thick black stripes. Yeah. Also, we've got 2 African jewel cichlids. Very peaceful, very, very pretty fish. Again, you can tell by their fins, general behaviour and the colour of them, they are absolutely loving it in this tank. Do not get bothered by the peacocks, don't get bothered by the green terrors at all. I think generally the environment is good for all of them. In the long run, I don't think we're going to keep them together. I would like to get another 6-foot tank and split them up, so we've got South American and African. But for the moment, I wanted to see if this was possible to keep them all together, and I think I've proved that you can do that. Everyone looks happy, water's clean.
It's a great tank, a very good tank.
I'm very, very happy with it. Alright guys, thank you for watching this first video. Make sure you like and subscribe, ding the notification bell. We've got lots of good stuff planned, lots and lots of videos coming up. Stay tuned for part 2 of the introduction to the channel, because we're going to be visiting Mitch's tank. It's the first time I've seen it as well, so I'm very excited. I hope you guys are too. I'll see you on the next one.